Hello, YouTube. Welcome to Review Shop. Today, we will watch Best Gaming Televisions. You can spend thousands of pounds on a new TV, but still not necessarily get a good one. We've picked out the best TVs currently on the market. We also explain some of the jargon and give you a heads up on what's new in TVs in 2018. Is now a good time to buy a new TV? Yes and no. On the plus side, the new TVs we've seen for 2018 are delivering big improvements in picture quality compared with anything we've seen before. Especially now the twin joys of 4K/Ultra HD resolution and high dynamic range, HDR, technologies have taken picture quality to a whole new level. On the downside, picking between the various technologies on offer seems to be getting more rather than less difficult. Also, the tough demands HDR technology place on TV screens have made it harder than ever before to buy a really good TV without spending a lot of money. Please, enjoy the video, and subscribe to the channel. Number 5, Sony X800E. The first and last overall thought of purchasing the Sony X800E as the family entertainment center is one that is entirely subjective to individual eye perception. Sony is a good brand and one won't go wrong in buying this TV model if your eye likes what you see. The motion smoothness with only a native 60Hz processor speaks the technical expertise of the Sony engineers, as does the low input lag and the cool features found in their Android operating system 7.0. Certainly the 4K screen resolution helps picture clarity than ordinary HD LED lower screen resolution that usually is 1080 pixels of color. We do feel obligated to point out that with 4K, smart TV should always be part of the package. In terms of the overall look of the Sony X800E, it falls a bit in terms of ease of accessibility when the designers put the ports on the back of set. With this and the power brick, the extruding plastic on back, wall mounting would probably not be a good idea. The stand is made of a strong plastic material and sits wide on tabletop and has tracks in back for running some cables through, all of which makes it decent and sturdy. Borders around screen are plastic with metal edge, which makes for a nice surface appearance in any room. Due to the very poor contrast ratio, the difference of light to dark in images, the color and black tones do better viewed in rooms with low light intensity. There is no local dimming feature, which only serves to exacerbate the washed-out darker scenes in an image. When screen is viewed at an angle, black level stays same, A+ that is lost because the overall brightness of other colors is significantly less. The Sony X800E should not be viewed in dark or bright room as the light reflects on a semi-gloss screen. On plus side, there is little motion blur, low input lag, and low res content upscales very well. Color is bright except at angle viewing. The Sony X800E series TV is best for its fast response time with only a native 60Hz processor. The low input lag, decent upscaling of lower res content, and Android operating system with access to Google Store makes Sony X800E great for gaming and abundant smart TV content streaming. The bottom line is Sony X800E TV models make a good TV set for playing video games. The Android operating system provides access to an abundance of apps from the Google Store, and with the 4K screen resolution, smart TV is possible even with a smaller screen for smaller room sizes. Number 4, Samsung Q9F 4K UHD QLED TV. With its 2018 flagship TVs, Samsung allies its new QLED technology to a direct lighting with local dimming system for the first time. And the results are truly spectacular. For starters, this TV can achieve peak brightness levels of around 2000 nits, roughly 30% more than any other TV seen to date. This helps it to reach parts of HDR pictures that other TVs just cannot hit, giving you the most eye-catching display of just what HDR is capable of the TV world can currently offer. Even better, Samsung's new direct lighting system can display such fearsomely bright highlights right alongside the deepest, richest black colors the LCD world has ever seen. The extreme brightness the Q9FN can reach also produces the widest range of color we've seen from any TV so far, enabling it to unlock more of the new wide color spectrum technology that's nearly always applied to HDR pictures. The Q9FN has one other killer trick up its sleeve, too, in the shape of its unique anti-reflection screen filter. This makes its pictures much easier to watch and enjoy in bright rooms than those of any other TV. The Q9FN's clever backlight controls do fail it slightly with really dark scenes, where it can lose some of the subtlest shadow details. Colors can also fade if you watch the TV from much of an angle. Nonetheless, if you want to see HDR at its most gloriously explosive, or you mostly watch TV in a bright room, the Samsung Q9FN is the most eye-catching show in town. Number 3, LG C7 OLED TV. The 4K LG C7 OLED TV offers excellent picture quality thanks to its ability to display true blacks. It's especially good for gaming thanks to its very low input lag and motion blur. It gets fairly bright, and it can display a wide range of colors, so it's also a great HDR performer. The LG C7P OLED TV has an excellent picture quality. The infinite contrast ratio and perfect blacks make for an amazing movie experience, especially when the TV is set in a dark room. When set in a bright room, the C7 also has good picture quality since it can get bright enough to fight glare, and it does a remarkable job at dealing with reflections. The very wide viewing angle and the good gray uniformity make the C7 an excellent choice for watching sports with a large group of people or if you have a wide seating area. When it comes to HDR, this TV does a superb job making HDR content shine when compared to SDR content. The perfect contrast ratio, good HDR peak brightness and large color gamut coverage make HDR content really pop. The motion handling of the C7P is excellent. The response time is near perfect, resulting almost no visible motion blur. The TV doesn't flicker by default, but unfortunately, it can't enable any flicker to reduce blur further. It can play movies from most sources without any judder, which is good, and is able to interpolate content up to the native 120 Hz refresh rate. The Z7 runs LG's WebOS smart platform. It is easy to use and feature-filled, and makes very effective use of the TV's smart remote. The remote has a few buttons that open quick menus, like the settings and inputs buttons, so the user doesn't have to go into the main settings menu. When the remote is pointed at the screen, the cursor follows its movement, so menu items can be selected directly without using the arrow keys to navigate to them. The remote has a microphone for voice commands which works well. Number 2, Sony X900E. The Sony X900E is a great 4K TV that offers some of the best picture quality found in an LED TV. HDR content looks particularly good on this TV since it gets very bright, and it handles motion exceptionally well. The X900E has a very typical Sony design, with a small stand that supports the TV well and a very functional appearance. There are slots at the rear of the stand for cable management, but overall the design is quite minimalist. The metal stand supports the TV well and is very stable. It looks good, especially due to the tracks in each rear leg for cable management. The TV has an average thickness. If wall-mounted it may stick out a bit, but this isn't too much of an issue. The Sony X900E has great picture quality. The excellent contrast ratio and good black uniformity results in good performance when viewed in a dark room. The X900E is also a good option for a bright room, since it has a high peak brightness and can handle reflections pretty well. It is best suited for people who sit directly in front, since when viewed from the side the picture quality degrades considerably. When it comes to HDR, this TV is a great performer. It has a great HDR peak brightness, great color reproduction, and when you add local dimming to the equation, you end up with a very good movie and game experience. The Sony X900E supports all common input signals and should be able to accurately display content from any device, even video output from a PC. The X900E also has low input lag in game and graphics mode and will be very responsive when playing video games and when using the TV as a PC monitor. Note: only HDMI ports 2 and 3 support full bandwidth, but HDMI port 3 is also the audio return channel. If you have a receiver which supports ARC in more than one device which requires the full bandwidth of HDMI, then you might have some issues connecting all of your devices. In this case it may be best to connect your receiver using an optical cable. The Sony X900E uses Android TV as its smart platform. Android TV tends to be more difficult to navigate than many other smart platforms, so the interface may take some getting used to. The Action menu button on the remote helps to relieve this problem by providing a quick list of popular settings so the user doesn't have to navigate to the main settings menu. However, one strength of Android TV is the Google Play Store, which contains many apps that can be downloaded on the TV to extend its functionality. The included remote is rather large with many buttons, and has a microphone for voice search, which works well. Also, this TV uses Amazon Alexa assistance. And finally, number 1, LG C8 OLED TV. While LG hasn't made significant changes to the core hardware of its 2018 OLED TVs, it has delivered a substantial upgrade to the processing that drives that hardware. The brand's new Alpha 9 chip delivers improvements to color, contrast, sharpness, setup flexibility, and even brightness. The net result of all these improvements is a big step up in picture quality, which is saying something when you consider that last year's C7 OLED series was our previous most highly recommended TV. The new processing essentially takes all the good stuff OLED has always been renowned for: gorgeously deep black colors, phenomenally rich colors, wide viewing angles, and refines it. So now black levels seem a little deeper while the brightest parts of HDR pictures seem brighter. Colors seem both a little punchier, especially in bright scenes, while also looking more refined and less prone to noise. Details levels with both 4K and upscaled high-definition sources look higher, too. On top of all this, the old 65C8 still benefits from LG's fantastically easy-to-use WebOS Smart TV engine, and carries all the most useful video streaming apps, complete with 4K and HDR support where available. Getting your hands on LG's latest OLED technology doesn't come cheap. Especially as 2018's entry-level B8 series of OLEDs don't use the all-important new Alpha 9 chip. In a perfect world, too, OLED technology might one day get as bright as LCD screens can. For many people, though, especially movie fans, OLED technology's phenomenal contrast advantage will make the LG old 65C8 borderline impossible to resist. The C8 is yet another winner from the LG design team, with an elegant simplicity that effectively emphasizes the ultra-thin nature of the OLED panel. There's no bezel, just a black metallic trim around the outer edge, reinforcing the sense of a size 0 screen. The TV is mere millimeters thick at the top but widens out at the bottom, where the electronics, speakers and connections are housed. The rear is a two-tone affair, with brushed aluminium at the top and dark gray plastic further down, and the overall build quality is very good. The TV sits on a wide and sloped stand that not only retains an attractive aesthetic quality but also serves a practical purpose, redirecting sound from the downward-firing speakers towards the viewer. There is a genuine beauty to the streamlined minimalism of the C8, and it's a lovely-looking TV. LG abandons minimalism for a more comprehensive approach to the connections, which include 4 HDMI inputs, 3 at the side and 1 facing the rear. There are also 3 USB ports, with 1 at the side and 2 facing rearwards, along with a terrestrial and satellite tuner, a LAN port, a C slot, an optical digital output, a line out and a headphone jack. On the wireless side, there's built-in Wi-Fi, WiFi and Bluetooth support. Operating the C8 remains a pleasure thanks to the Magic Remote, an incredibly precise motion controller. This handset uses a combination of on-screen pointer and scroll wheel, allowing you to easily access menus, navigate the smart platform and control the TV. You'll quickly appreciate the merits of the Magic Remote, making other TV controllers seem antiquated by comparison. LG C8 builds on the success of last year's models, resulting in a TV that can deliver astonishing HD/SDR images and equally impressive 4K/HDR pictures. It's not as bright as an LCD TV, but those deep blacks make a huge difference to the dynamic range of the image. It's also capable of vibrant and gorgeous colors, not to mention an astounding level of detail with native 4K content. The WebOS Smart platform remains the best available, and the choice of streaming services is second to none. Once you add the gorgeous design and a comprehensive set of features, you have one of the most complete TVs that we've ever reviewed.